What's up YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. No, the sound isn't off, it's me. Still suffering with this cold. So, I'm a bit bunged up and everything else, so there probably ain't going to be a huge amount of talking in this first bit, hence the montage at the front. Because I pretty much lost my voice yesterday. So, where are we? Well, we've got most of the engine mounts and stuff done, which is cool. I've just got the front ones to sort out now, and I've got to position the ones that go on the side. So they all need to be marked up and, you know, holes drilled and these little boss jobby things, some of these things shoved into the frame. Now I need to do that for the top rear engine mounts as well. But that's all good. So that should be quite a quick and easy job. And then the only other thing I've got to do is to get the gussets sorted out for the front, just under the headstock. So I've been playing, I've got some, about 2.5 mil, something like that. Shoved a dimple in it, because I do like dimples. So I just need to chomp that out in a triangle the right size, stick it up under the headstock and get all that lot welded in. And that is basically that bit of the frame all done. Still obviously got the tail unit and everything else to put on, but we'll worry about that later. What else have we got? Oh yeah, we had some bits and pieces turn up. So, come here. Got another one of them, because I broke mine when I stuck the engine on it and wheeled it across the floor. It's just handy, because with the bike up, and if you're working low down on the frame, you can just plonk yourself on one of them and you're not bent over welding or doing whatever else you're doing. It just takes all the pain out of your back, and they're cheap as chips. And I've also got some of these turned up. Let me show you. So these are some new indicator lamps. I was looking at Craig's build again, and he had like a little cluster, which I thought was really, really smart. Thing is that the speedo that I'm using, the GPS speedo, has got turn signals and a high beam indicator and that sort of stuff, but it doesn't have an all warning light and a neutral light. So I've got some of these. I will get a picture and shove you, stick it up so you can see it. But these are way better than the other junky rubbish ones. They don't wobble, like at all. And the sort of coloured glass bit, or well, it's going to be plastic, isn't it, basically? That doesn't move or anything else. It's bonded into the top of this, and it's got a much bigger shoulder. I don't know if you can see that. A much bigger shoulder on the end. So where I set this into the top yoke, I'll have like a nice positive sort of step. And they're quite low profile as well, whereas the other ones had this big coney thing coming up. Same price, just different style, different manufacturer. But I think they're going to do the do. So I've got red one for all warning, obviously a green for neutral, and I've got this other one as well, which I'm just going to use as a running light somewhere. I was going through the MOT and it talks about position lights and running lights and all that sort of stuff. So we'll stick one of these somewhere inconspicuous up front. And we should be good, I think, on that score. So that's all sweet. So we'll stick them in a packet and shove them away somewhere safe, because I will lose them. I've also just been priming stuff. anything I do, anything I make, I'm just going to prime it, because that frame is really starting to flash rust, like quite a lot actually. It's not damp, you know, I ain't got any leaky roof or any of that sort of stuff, but I suppose there is a certain amount of, you know, moisture in the air and whatnot. It's just a roller shutter door, it's not really heated or anything else. So I am getting flash rust on this, so I'm desperately kicking on and trying to get this lot done, so I can have it shot blasted by Jack again, just to get rid of all the surface schmoo, and then I'm just going to basically prime the whole frame. If I need to weld brackets on here and there and blah de blah de blah, well that's fine. I'll just grind off the primer, weld it, dress it up, and then I'm going to prime it again, just so it doesn't deteriorate basically. So these are just the engine mounts for the rear. You know, they're tidied up a bit and stuff. It's not all properly dressed up and finished off and all that sort of stuff. You certainly wouldn't want to be sending that off to powder coat. So what will happen is, after we've tested the bike and we've done the track day and all that other sort of stuff, and I basically know its sound, then before anything goes back on the bike for a final finish, it's all going to get dressed up and made to look as nice as I can make it, and then it will go off to powder coat. Just that way I know that every single piece, as you know, I've cast my eye over it and it's as good as I can get it basically. So this week, during, you know, the mornings before I go to my work and whatnot, I'm just trying to crack on and get absolutely everything finished up, because on Sunday Steve-O's going to be down. Yes, wide angle day, but I'm going to need his help. One, I've got man flu, so I'm weak as a kitten, and I need to pick an engine up, because what I want to do is to get this back to a rolling chassis. I want wheels on each end, the frame sitting on its own with an engine in there, and a rear shock and the linkages and all that other sort of stuff. I'm not too bothered about, you know, bearings and all that other sort of malarkey at the minute, but I want to get it into a rolling chassis so I can figure out the seat unit. I'm still of two minds whether to do something similar to Jixit, where you can see the hoop, or just hide the whole thing completely. I haven't really decided yet. But I can't do that whilst it's in the, you know, I need to see it. I need to see what it's going to look like and the stance that it's got and all that sort of stuff. As far as the engine goes, I'm not going to be splitting the cases and dressing it all up until after we've done the track day. The engine was fine. I think it lost like a couple of ponies out of the stable since 1997. So that's fine. The carbs will need another strip and clean, because they did have fuel in them, because I didn't drain them, because I'm a numpty. But other than that, we should be good. So that engine is just going to go straight back in the frame, which is why I need a Steve-O. And to be fair, whenever there's heavy lifting involved, he's never here. So that'll make quite a change, eh? Right, what am I doing now? Might as well have a go at this, I suppose. There is a gusset that on the original went up underneath the headstock. So where the two side rails of the frame come up and it meets the headstock down the middle, that triangle that it makes, you know, with the crossbeam and stuff, it did have a gusset in it. So I'm sticking one in, only mine's got a dimple in it. Because I like dimples, and I did the thing, so, you know, why not? So we're kind of chunking up on everything on this. The frame has gone up in OD. You know, although I've used the same material thickness and everything else. All the engine mounts, all these jobbies and stuff, they've gone up as well. So, and the side ones, originally they was 3mm, they're now 5mm, like all over sort of thing. So, you know, we're just trying to beef things up, partly because this is a homemade frame. I don't work for Mr Suzuki, so he's a very clever man sitting in a cubicle, and he's had years of training and everything else, whereas I haven't. I've just got a shop and a toolkit. So we're kind of beefing everything up. So I've got some thick stuff here. I've shoved a dimple in it, and now I just need to chomp that out to a triangle that fits up under the headstock with my dimple in the middle. Because then I can get all that lot welded. Well, I can get it tacked in place. But then the whole frame has got to come out and go onto the bench just so I can weld it, because there's some of those engine mounts I can't get to, and I need it out of the jig so I can position and, you know, sort of drill holes and everything else for those side mounts and you know, these these jobbies at the back as well. I could do these ones whilst it's still in the jig, which I probably will do, but the side ones, where the frame jig comes down either side, I can't get my little jig thing that I made to clamp all the way around it because there just isn't the space, so it has to come out. But that's it. So get this lot done. I'll mark up the frame and get those holes drilled and the bosses welded and all that sort of stuff. And then we're pretty much there. Jack can have it back, shot blast it, then I'll prime it, and then we're just waiting on Steve-O, basically. Right. Why am I drinking this? I should have Lemsip. Right, so whilst it's in the jig, I stuck these on, you know, the side mounts and whatnot, and I've marked where I think the centre of the hole is. I can't get a transfer punch in there, which ideally is how I would do it, but I've marked the centre as best I can. So now we can shove my little jig thing back on, line up the holes with that mark, and hopefully drill some holes in it and get those little boss jobby things in. But we shall see. I really wanted to do it with a transfer punch, but that is not an option. Right, there's my thing. Right, that was neither easy nor pleasant, but I've got them on. The bosses are in. There is a tiny little bit of wiggle room, so we'll have at it and get all these welded in place. Actually, what I'm going to do is put a little chamfer on these as well. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, that's a bugger. My jig thing, it's too big to get on round the tube and have one of these locating holes line up with that. So I'm gonna have to chop this in half. It is no biggie, not really, not in the grand scheme of things. This was only ever like a jig just to help me, you know, get some of this stuff done. If I'd have done those holes before, I'd have welded that up. It wouldn't be a problem. But I've welded all this lot up now. So he's getting chopped up. Which that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Right then. This is all roasty, toasty, warm. Apart from that, which is stone cold. So I've got all the gusset welded in around here. It's all come through on the back and stuff a little bit as well. So we've got a nice bit. I'm not going to bother welding the inside of it. There is no point. But we've got these in. It's welded all the way around. I did put a chamfer all the way around just to help the weld get in there, because obviously I drilled the hole at the same size that the peg is. So it needs to get in there basically, and I've gone around and done all the other engine mounts. So I'm just going to leave this alone, go home and have something to eat before me work, and then I'll come back tomorrow and dress all this lot up, and I would have cut the jig down so I could do those bits as well. So it's really just dressing up and getting those holes done, which I could definitely get done tomorrow, or like the first part of Saturday or something, so we're all ready for Steve-O on Sunday. Right, I'll be back. Right then, that's it. Done. Well, I say done. I've ground down all the bits and doohickeys and stuff. So like where the engine mounts and stuff is gone in. Where are they? I can't even see them. Here they go. On the back here. It's all dressed down so it's nice and flat here. And I've literally just got a threaded hole there. Same thing up here. It's all down. I have started to take down some of these welds as well. There is still an awful lot of dressing up to do before it ever goes to powder coat, but this ain't going to powder coat first. This is going to a racetrack, and that is its final paint job as far as I'm concerned. It's just primer, it's just this U-pole stuff. Where is it? Where are you? That stuff. It's dead good. U-pole etch primer, power can, professional spray paint. Some people say, go and paint it black, I dare you. No. Don't care if it needs primer or not. This is just getting primed, that's it. And everything is getting primed, right? So all the little brackets, like these jobbies and stuff that go on there and blah, blah, I'm just priming everything basically. Trouble is, in here, stuff flash rusts really quickly. So I just nipped it next door to Jack's, borrowed his big old blasting cabinet that I can fit the frame in because there's no way he's going in mine, and he's got like 70 something CFM that he's running. It's ridiculous, and he just cleans it up in no time, so I'm happy with that. There's no runs in it that I can see. Don't really care if there is because it'll all come off when it's getting primed anyway. So what's happening next? Oh yeah, This is the last bit I've got to do. That's my front engine mounts. Well, I ain't going to do them yet because I've got other ideas. I've already made a start on it anyway. So on the front, there's two of them Boss doohickey jobbies still sticking out the frame, and that's where these is going to go to. So, but the front engine mount is the only ones that's got rubbers. So I've started with my holes, because you always start with your holes. And these are like properly spaced to marry up with those Boss jobby things. So all we've got to do is build the bike back up again, stick an engine in it, and that way I can put these on there and get all my spacings right and decide where the last holes go in, drill it, chomp it out, prime it and stick it on. That's like I'll do it with a piece of cardboard or whatever, but that's like a 15-minute job. So it ain't going to take very long. So, we got plans for tomorrow. Today's Saturday, but tomorrow's Sunday. And Sunday is going to be a good day. Jamie's coming down in the morning. He's got somewhere to be at 12, but it doesn't sound like it's going to take him very long. So he's giving Chuck a bit of an upgrade, which I'm properly looking forward to. That is, I mean, he's good enough, you know, sort of now, but he's not as good as he could be or as good as he should be. So Jamie's coming down to do a bit of an upgrade. That'll be a separate video because it's not bikes, but it's well worth it, I think, because as soon as it's done, then thread cutting and all sorts of stuff is possible. So you'll see that in another video. And Steve-O is also coming down tomorrow. So we have got big plans. Big plan. Tomorrow is going to be a good day. Essentially, once that frame is all dry, I'm just going to leave now and just leave it overnight. So it'll be nice and dry in the morning. That'll be fine. But we are getting a rolling chassis back together again. So all that lot is coming off the bench, and I'll find somewhere to hide it. I don't know where. It needs to go. It's in the way. And then we're building a rolling chassis. So what I mean by that is frame with the proper engine back in it, all bolted down, front forks on, swing arm in, suspension all sorted, wheels, axles, you know, yokes, tank, blah, blah, blah. Literally everything I can is going back on the bike because I've still got the seat unit to sort out on it. And I can't do, I know what I want to do and I know how I want it to look, but I can't picture it in my head unless I'm looking at a built up bike and decide exactly where it's all got to go. So that's the last bit of the frame really that needs doing. But tomorrow is going to be a good day, I think, because once it's all together, I can crack on with that. And although it's primed and all that sort of stuff, then, you know, where I need to weld stuff on like brackets or seat frames or anything else, I'll just take a bit of primer off, do my welding, dress it all up and squirt primer back on it again. That's how it's staying. And everything that goes on the bike is going to get that treatment, basically. I don't want stuff flash rusting. So I am looking forward to tomorrow. It's been an awful lot of work doing that frame. Like, I mean an awful lot of work and figuring stuff out and everything else. And tomorrow, I get to see if it's all going to work or not. If it doesn't, I am going to jump off something high. So anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it for this one. Thank you ever so much for watching. I do hope you're well and staying safe. And we will see you on the next one. Laters! Oh, where the bloody hell am I going to put you?